everyone. This is Live Life Well TV host Robert Landau with another episode of Health and Wellness Tips. What I'd like to talk to you about today happens to be on the subject of grieving. So how does this apply to health and wellness? Well, when we grieve, it affects our health. It affects our health physically, it affects our health mentally, and it affects our health spiritually as well. We have all had the opportunity to grieve from time to time. Find me one person that hasn't. But grieving is a process, and it is not the destination that's important. Throughout the process of grieving, it's the journey. And I, like you, have firsthand experience of that, mainly in the name of my parents, who I lost very tragically 10 years ago when their house burned to the ground with them in it. And they were here one day, and the next day, they were gone. I was very, very close to my parents, and I was living in Denver at that time, and I had just convinced them to leave their huge Victorian house in the middle of nowhere in upstate New York. And because my father really needed assisted living care at that point in his life, I finally, after years of talking to them, convinced them to move to Denver so that they could be closer to me and I could be closer to them, and move into an assisted living facility because my mother could no longer care for my father in the way that he needed to be cared for. And then this tragic event happened. My father was a famous symphony orchestra conductor. So this was a story that was carried from New York to Tokyo. And I was receiving calls on my cell phone to be interviewed in front of what was left of their house in upstate New York. Devastating, as I'm sure you can imagine. So what do you do when the rug is pulled out from under you so suddenly? Well, you do the best that you can. But the important thing is that you make a conscious effort to treat yourself well during the process. That's vitally important because you can make things so much worse at that point in your life when this turmoil first makes itself known to you, that it becomes harder for you to come up and out of it when the dust kind of settles. So what got me through was the support and love of friends, greater family at large, my brother, who's 3.5 years younger than I am, and my faith. It caused me to go deep within, and I asked my true self a number of questions. Am I going to make it through? Can I make it through? Can I do this alone? Is life worth living without my dear parents who were taken so suddenly? And I had to come up with some very constructive methods of thought to inject positive energy into my mindset and the way I was talking to myself within myself during those very difficult weeks and months. So, as you well know, grieving never ends. It just gets better with time. But it's up to you and those around you to help make it better with time. True love never dies. The physical body does. It's just how things work here. So in a way, I don't know about you, when you grieve for lost ones, I believe that love never dies. And so in that way, in that energy form, they are always with me. And I'm not only talking about my parents, I'm talking about dear pets that I've lost over the last 5 years. Loss is horrible. There's nothing great about it, or at least that kind of loss. But the thing is, we're still here. It's not our time yet. So it's up to us to give the gift to ourselves of making this the best time possible as we continue to grieve. Remember the lost one with love in your heart every moment of every day. And if some of that process causes you deep sadness, tears, solitude, that's okay. That's what grieving is all about. It's important for all that stuff to come up. If you hold it within you, it's only going to back up within you. So, feel what you need to feel. Do what you need to do, but love yourself and others in the process. This has been Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host with another episode of Health and Wellness.